ShinRobjira.
Now, I'm a movie monster series person. I pretty much built my YouTube channel up on loving the movie monster series, and this is the first time I'm talking about these figures in quite a long time. The last time is no longer public because it sucks. But Godzilla 2014 and these two figures right here systematically brought back the movie monster series from 7 to maybe 8 years of just no figures. Ultraman moved in, became an even more popular IP. Godzilla kinda didn't do too much. This was our first taste of the movie monster series in quite a long time, so before we do anything, let's take a look at these tags. And already you can tell that there are some significant differences going on here. The text is different, we still have the sticker printed on and it's not an actual sticker, and the material as well. This is a very sturdy material for the tag as compared to what we get today. But we will get Goji and all of his kind eye goodness over here with a bunch of streaks of lightning surrounding him. On the back of the tag, though, this is definitely more in line with what we get out of the movie monster series today. WB Legendary Godzilla Movie Monster Series. Side of the tag will be cut out to that of Godzilla's dorsal fins. And on the inside of the tag, wow, I mean, just look at that. This is totally different from what we get today. And since this is a 10-year-old movie monster series tag, yes, we are going to double sleeve it. Why? Because it's old. Plus, I just want these things protected at all costs. Now, taking a look at the M.U.T.O tag, what? An interesting little render for this tag. Cloaked in darkness, only the reds/oranges of its eyes and arms are really all that present. I think this is a render of the figure itself. I don't think this is the actual CGI file. I could be wrong though. I've known to be wrong quite a lot. But as you can see, M.U.T.O Godzilla 2014. A whole bunch of other stuff, picture of M.U.T.O. On the back of the tag, we're going to get exactly the same thing as we got on Godzilla, and this on the inside just looks like the HG figure. Hold on. Tell me I'm wrong. Because I'm not. Oh my god, it practically matches a little bit. Oh geez, I got shaky hands, I'm sorry, I drank 2 things of coffee today. It was the first time in a long time that the movie monster series was operating at full scale, so we let it slide. And once again, since this is a movie monster series figure that is now well over 10 years old, we must double sleeve the figure to keep it nice and protected. And since we have M.U.T.O on hand, let's take a look at him first. Despite them being rather parasitical and cool looking, the movie monster series M.U.T.O isn't exactly what I would call amazing. Looking at the mouth and the head overall over here, the detailing is nice, but again, it's not great. Bit bummed that the inside of the mouth carrying over to the other side is just going to have dead space and not actually be, you know, separated. Like, you can clearly see the detailing in there for teeth and where the mouths actually end and everything, but maybe that was for the best. I don't know how much better this thing would look if that dead space wasn't there. From a front-on shot, though, Hawk M.U.T.O looks great. Kinda looks like Giger tried to make a bald eagle. It would be really nice if Bandai gave the M.U.T.Os another shot outside of that insanely expensive set that they did. Believe me, I regret every day that I did not pick those up. We'll see some nice sprayed on orange paint on the M.U.T.O's front arms/legs over here. Again, giving off a nice gradient effect to them. I really do dig that. But like most movie monster series releases these days, they will only be painted on one side. Although I give Bandai credit, I'm surprised that got painted. But you know what? I really don't think these arms needed to be fully orange. I'd go as far to say that this is just fine. There's nothing to complain about here. Very minimal detailings going on though, like holy crap. Again, I'm not exactly sure what Bandai was working with, if anything at all when it came to the M.U.T.O. But man, this extra pair of arms over here looking like polygonal titties. Oh man, that is unfortunate. But it's nice to see that the details for the hooked ends of those arms are very much present. It's just, yeah, from the front it looks like he's got boobs. Well, who am I to tell him how to live his life? If he wants titty, he get titty. The detailing from the neck moving into the crotch area is rather nice, yes. It's going to be a different color from the rest of the base figure, this being more of a chocolatey brown versus this. And you can kind of tell the color difference from a distance, which is nice. Many of the harder, more obvious detailings are really going to end about here though, as the legs are mostly just going to be textured. There isn't any heavy detailing going on them. But for what it is, for the Movie Monster series' first figures in 7 or 8 years, this is pretty nice. Minimal detailing on the hoofed feet, and by minimal, it's hoofed. Yeah. And then you've got the underside of the wings, which, I'm not sure how these are supposed to operate as such, but to Bandai's credit, I wouldn't exactly call the M.U.T.Os vinyl figure friendly, especially the only one they chose to represent. Obvious minimal detailing. Not the best nor the worst, but again, for what it is, it's okay. The major detailing on the top side of the figure is mostly going to be with the wings, but as you can see with the head over here, he's dusty. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try. We will get some detailing over here on the raised portion of his head. Jesus. I literally just cleaned these not too long ago. Yeah, I'm not as clean as y'all think I am. This was one of the only M.U.T.O figures we got when Godzilla 2014 came out. So anyone that was lucky enough to cap these things off of Hobbylink Japan, AmiAmi, Hobby Search Japan, and even Amazon, y'all were lucky. Because oh boy, did these two figures' prices just skyrocket once we hit 2015. It got ridiculous. Although Godzilla himself is going down in price these days. Not Bandai's best work, but also not incredibly offensive. I'll give Paint and Detail a solid star for paint, as I feel it has pretty much everything it could really need. And I was gonna give detailing a half a star, but I really don't know if Bandai were working with any official materials here. In some aspects, it definitely feels like it, but in others, it almost feels like they weren't. Granted, yes. It's a vinyl recreation of a rather strange design. Thank your lucky stars, the Movie Monster series will probably never get along to Clover from Cloverfield. The thing would look like an oatmeal sculpture with multiple legs. Yeah, so I really don't know how to pin this. For one of the only M.U.T.O figures and the only M.U.T.O figure in the Movie Monster series, yeah, we'll give this thing a solid star for detail. But now on to the main event. Oh, Gochanga. So first off, detail. Godzilla 2014 Goji is amazing. I remember getting this dude in for the first time and just thinking, holy shit, did I really only pay $15 for this? 15, 20 bucks, I think? Like, it's so good. Oh my god, look at all of those details. Hooey! Ridges, the bumps, the grooves. Yes, the dorsal fins aren't as sharp as they're supposed to be, but it's a vinyl figure, and damn! Movimon Goji is very hard to hate in nearly every single aspect. The armor-plated legs, the painted toes and underbelly, moving into the thighs, the crotch, and the chest, all of the wacky amounts of detailing on this thing. This was an insane purchase. As at this point, I believe this might have been my third, fourth, maybe even fifth Movie Monster series figure ever. Getting a Movie Monster series figure in the States back in the day is nowhere near as easy as it is today, and I wasn't exactly an experienced vet of importing figures as I am today. I didn't mean for that to come off sounding like I was stroking my ego. I'm just saying, I know more now than I did back in the day. Copyright Legendary, trademark and copyright 2014 Toho. Copyright 2014 WBEI. Bandai 2014 China, numbers. Wow, a year. Nice. So the underside of the figure is going to be this very, well, bringing it back to the oatmeal comment, oatmealish looking, with some fantastic detailing, and then it stops midway through to the tail, yes. It's almost like this signified something moving forward into the Movie Monster series, but the detail is nice. The detail is nice even on the top of the tail over here. Bumpy and Gatorian or crocodilian looking. Fantastic looking stuff. Can't complain, not even in the slightest. The chalky oatmeal looking chocolate color is going to continue on the inside of Goji's thighs, stopping just above the ankles, both sides. And look at those stumpy
eating those giant, thick toenails.
It's just nice stuff going on right there. Moving into the arms over here, we're going to get more of that armor-plated looking detailing, but we're also going to get painted fingernails. And they're done up pretty decently. Not bad for Bandai's first in such a long time. And it's a bit of a shame, really. I mean, this feels like the most care and attention that's gone into a MonsterVerse Godzilla design since the movie Monster series started making MonsterVerse Godzilla figures. Yeah, it's quite a stark contrast looking at Goji into Goji into EvoGOI, Wingard Goji, whatever his name is. I'm not going to comment on the size, but jeez. And I'm not going to hem and haw on this too long, but it would have been nice to see a little bit more go into KOTM Goji. And I will say this much in regards to EvoGOI, at least they painted the tail all the way to the tip. Can you even see that? There you go. It's just both those figures in comparison to Goji over here are just kind of bland and boring. Granted, there's things that EvoGOI does that's cool, but man, movie monster series peaked with Goji. At the very least, they're going to be giving Goji another chance, just with one color. Might work out, we'll see. Holy side tangents, Batman. Let's take a look at Goji's face and yeah, the eyes, they have pupils and they're a bit on the crookie dookie side. I give Bandai credit though. I didn't even know these things were on the eyes until much later after like owning it for maybe a year or two. I don't even know if you can see the pupils on this side, but I assure you they are most certainly there. My god, that is goofy and I love him. So Goji's going to be sporting the Space Godzilla crest whitening strips from Playmates, but at the very least you can see the detailing for the teeth inside of the mouth, at least on the top row. And we get a clerical zoom over here. Yeah, you can see some detailing on the bottom row. Oh, you can definitely see the pupils now. Holy shit. We will be getting some minimal detailings on the inside of the mouth, namely just a tongue. And it is quite nice that they actually painted the membranes of Goji's mouth. Very, very nice. Plus, he's got nostril details all along the sides of the neck, the gills, everything. This is a mighty fine Godzilla figure from the movie Monster series. And you can see how and why many of us were so hyped to see the series return back in 2014. Bit of a bummer that we had to wait until 2016 to see anything else. Yeah, imagine our surprise once we got Shin Godzilla in hand. Woo! Was that a negative inflection or a positive inflection? You'll just have to wait for another marathon. Despite the crooked eyes, I'm going to have to give this guy a solid star in terms of paint because he just looks fantastic. Yes, his eyes are crooked, but can you tell from a mile away like this? Not saying that's a mile, but damn, that looks great. And detail, as you'd expect, is going to get another solid star. This guy is just chock full of all of it. Now let's move on into size comparisons. Shokugan, movie. Another movie. Bandai America. Not King Series, but King Series enough. NECA, SHMA, HG, finger puppets. And now let's move on over into articulation. Gudongle will be able to swivel all the way around at these arms, as well as these legs, plural wordings. Nothing at the head, as I'm sure you could tell. And when looking at the tail, it can swivel about, if a bit begrudgingly. I don't know if that tail swivel was intended. It sure as hell doesn't feel like it, but this is how the figure showed up at my doorstep. No glue seal on the tail. M.U.T.O's Chompito arms over here can move up and down. Both sides, yes, yes, yes. I imagine they'd be able to move all the way around, but I don't want to ruin any of this orange paint. And then we've got the legs, which can move up about that far, and then back very, very far, because they have so much clearance. Look at that. This man is slow diving. Basic movie monster series movement and posability, I'll give them both a solid star each. Both are lovely releases, especially if you're a big 2014 fan or a movie monster series completionist. This is where the movie monster series started back up 10 years ago, and it's quite interesting to see how the line has re-evolved and de-evolved and impressed and upset across those 10 years. And it's kind of poignant to celebrate 10 years of the movie monster series coming back and 10 years of Godzilla 2014. If you've been watching me for the past 7-8 years, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, glad you did. Check out my social media, Patreon, $1 a month, access to everything, and when next we meet, As I've been saying for the past couple months, I don't know. I'm working on Special Color King Ghidorah. Give me a break. Have a lovely day, afternoon, and night. Many pieces to you. Bye.